Not sure. You are from home or from a lecture? Is there a lecture before?
Geophysics.
Geophysical methods. Okay. I think they are around, but still probably held up in the.
We have MTM.
They have MTM. Oh, some group has MTM, then the others has geophysical.
Not geophysics, it is MTM. It starts from 2 to 4.
Who teaches it?
Some lady at the college.
At least it is a lady. I thought it was some gentleman. Again, I thought it is the other gentleman. At least it is a lady now.
The gentleman teaches the math majors.
Math majors. But he will be teaching the physics methods, not math methods. The gentleman will be talking about. Okay, I hope the lady is not also like the gentleman. I can't wait. So, but for just this is not. I'm not going to be so tight in electronics and instrumentation like I am in electromagnetism. Because electromagnetism is wide, and I want you to get the stuff from first principles. Electronics and instrumentation is just a review of electronics, but with a bias towards instruments, and basically how to use sensors in order to do some measurements. For the only part that is a bit out of this world is when we are implementing the electromagnetism part of electromagnetic waves in a communication system, like a radio transmission, how a signal is taken from a studio, I talk in a microphone, modulator is asking questions, then for you as a listener you are busy getting the information. So that's the most difference between the electronics and this course. Of course, and also electromagnetism is so not wide, but there are not many things I can play around with. In this course, we shall at the end of the day look at the multimeter and the oscilloscope. So you have seen an oscilloscope, you know a multimeter, but to know more about its operation so that you understand it more. So the course is not going to be so strict. And I don't know, did we finish the outline?
Yes.
Sure. I wrote everything and finished and even talked about the mode of lectures and then the
we ended with number 10, force outline.
number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 here. Where are you getting the 10th? Oh, you are on electromagnetism. We are on electricity.
No, you need to do the examples of regulation as number 10.
Where?
Regulation. Number 9.
Examples of regulators.
Yeah.
Thermostats,
Thermostats,
yeah. Any remote control. Yeah. So we finished almost the outline. But I can just peek through with all of you now that you are here, so that we start from this. Edward, you are down in
Yes.
a bunch of others also coming on.
They are coming.
You got a border?
Yes.
Because he's swift, he came here swiftly, and the others are still snagging around. So I have to ask how we made it here. Now that we gave time for agriculture to be easily done as well, I want us to be patient. The course will be fine. Shouldn't be tight. I was so tight in electronics to make sure that we get the basics. This one will not be so. So in the meantime, I need to take you through Mwele. I'm trying to do something new on Mwele. And this something new is that I have, Mwele has an option, okay, Muro, the framework which Makerere University and Environment uses, has a an option of making a web page. Like I can make website out of pages within web. So I have made a page called Course Study Resources 2024. When you go on the web, there is that whatever page, just like where you normally see on the left here, where you normally see, course outline, photos or folders, etc. Now I have this one there. And when you click on it, the page comes up as PHY 3112 for electromagnetism, and then 3Y, sorry, PHY 3115 for electronics and instrumentation. Then I have put notes. Then need to be sure of what I put, so that let me log on. And, so I have brought here a router, so that those of you who always get issues with Eduroam and Mac Air, you can just log in directly on your phone. But I hid the network. So to access the network, you have to put in my names. As SSID. So you put in the name, and then this bracket here has no space. And then you say B normal. So normally you will see it as a hidden network. I'm TWINAMASIKO, not TWINAMASIKO. When you put a T, you say like the tips and ticket. So I'm TWINAMASIKO, not TWINAMASIKO. So the network shows up, and when the network shows up like this, Wi-Fi list, say hidden network, when you tap on it, then it asks you to put the SSID. And then that's when you write this. Benon space, friend space, then TWINAMASIKO in capital, then there is no space between the O and the bracket. Once you do that, then it will take you in. I did that because for me in my office I continued using my network, because I know no one is going to be taking me as a statistics as those who are accessing the network. Also it is stable, and it makes the router makes my gadget to be a bit bigger. So you type this one in here. So as long as you are around here, you can access. I see the signal is okay, and it seems to be working just fine.
Yes.
What time did the madam release you?
4:00.
Yeah. And you are like, no, it was like 2:52. 9:04. What's wrong with you? What kind of methods are they teaching you? Shakir, what kind of methods are those people teaching you? When they are making you go past time and you are going to another lecture, that's That's time mismanagement. They are teaching you to be time mismanagers. This time I'm unhinged. I will make sure I'm going to continue writing my points slowly. Then I'll make a dossier and I'll go there to present to them. And then show them that we are partners in development of the teacher. We have no problem with the school. But for me, I am waiting for one thing, for them to be stubborn that they want to have their students there. Then I will market BSc and they will not get any student for education science. I'll go to schools, I'll make sure I tell parents, make your child do BSc, they get a first class, they go do a PhD if they want, and if they want to be scientists, now scientists are paid well, they go and be scientists. What those people want you to do is to lock your child down there and become a teacher for the rest of their life. Never to do anything else. And they see whether there is any parent who will advise their child to go to education. I did you, but I should have freedom. If my brains are sharp, I should move on and do pharmacy or go on. Why should you try me in a classroom to be a teacher? You want to fix me there that I should never get an opportunity to go anywhere. That's not proper. So by the time you guys came, I was saying that on where I'm adding something new. So if I am to teach this course many times, I'll be making this course study resources 2024. Then I will have course study resources 2025 like that, so that every time I teach here, because like now for electromagnetism, all the 4 lectures we have had are already up and running. So if you missed something during the class, you are able to find it on Mwere and on YouTube and be able to watch. And and for this one now, because of YouTube, you can't see them. If you are not my student, they are unlisted. But when you access it through the course, you are able to view it. But people cannot view on YouTube and then they learn on them. So I'm not forced to remove our stories. The stories I tell, the abuses I get, they are still there. So these days I don't have to ask. This camera is smart enough to make for me a video for the whole lecture, and then I want to remove the redundant beginning and end, and then the rest is in there. And it is only you who can access. So when you go to this, I wish I had the projector, but that doesn't matter since you are not so many. And I'm sure some of you, any one of you who has been able to log on the Wi-Fi? No. But I want to tell you from the beginning. When I put a course registration form, and then you don't want to fill it, and I have to complain. I know some of you did do some assignments online last semester, and you got marks. Because I was lenient. I don't know, students. You are creatures which are really. So I said you don't need to hustle to peep through or whatever. The issue is that those who can see will be able to see the thing. This is the course resources, the course study resources. And this course study resources is where I said when you tap there, the page, there will be a page now. And that page, I hope it is going So that page will have notes. I don't have it in the head. I could put as much stuff as I want. If you are on a running room, you don't need to go to my Wi-Fi. You still just go to anyone on the way. Are you able to see this link? So when it opens, when you first open and see the... Maybe I should start using the projector for this course. What do you think? You say, you just want me to sweat. You just need me to continue suffering the sweating around. Very mean person. You're very mean. If you are on way, just tell me notes, then that one is?
Video lectures.
Oh, no, the next one is what? Video lectures.
No, the next one is the same. Test.
Tests or test?
Test.
Just test.
Yes.
Exams.
Exams. Experiments.
Experiments.
Video lectures.
Is it the last one?
Second last.
Video lectures. And then lastly?
Quizzes.
Quizzes. Do you have any suggestions on how I should have ordered them? When you, especially for electromagnetism, when you click on notes, all notes are now there. All. You tap on it, the electrostatics comes. You tap on the Coulomb's law, that section of Coulomb's law comes. You tap on the no directrix, polarization. The next one is conductors. You tap on conductors, the notes pop up. Steady currents, notes pop up. Then you go to steady currents, then you go to magnetostatics, electromagnetic induction, electromagnetic waves, Maxwell's equations, electromagnetic waves in non-conducting media, conducting media, and then transmission line I haven't put, and generation of electromagnetic waves I haven't put, so those ones are there. So for this course, the only active bits are two. Notes and video lectures. On notes, only one notes, is it one notes or one note? Only one notes, only one notes is there. I don't know whether it opens or not, so only the first notes are there. I'm going to put the others as well later on because I still wanted to know the size of the class. And then, but for video lectures, everything is there. It's a playlist of all the few lectures that I had already made. And incidentally, I don't know the magic behind, but the two lectures, inactive transducers and capacitive transducers, have good number of likes. Sorry, no likes, views. 1 point something K. Each of them. So I don't know, this network is a bit fluctuating. Maybe I try out below. I was still asking as we wait for the last batch of the other people whom I haven't seen so far, who is not here. I don't think she still wants to do this course. Is what? Mwezi. Yesterday, those who were here So, do you want assignments? I'm thinking of putting on some link to assignments, especially the online assignments, so that you find things. Some of you, I think, used to hustle to look for stuff, and because you are fake, so you pretend it's not there. So that's why I'm doing this page thing, so that everything is there. Course outline is there. Then every time I finish a lecture, and then I upload it, I put it there, I embed it there, so that you find it there. This is lecture 3, which was given on the 22nd, lecture 4 EDC. So that you find everything. So exams, I intend to give you past papers, so that you see how things are asked. But I know I don't give past papers because people may just cram, because when they look at the pattern of questions almost being the same, then they cram. But I don't care. As long as you can cram and come do it without copy. That's why my camera is always strict, so that it comes from here. I don't care. As long as it comes from here. Even if they said I bring the same exam every semester, me I have no problem. As long as you come with your head only. Because I teach the same things anyway. So why should I be hustling to hear that I'm tricking you? I only need to know that you remember what I taught. Those of you are doing education, is that a problem? According to assessment, is it prohibited that you can't bring questions which came last year? Those were the other students. They were the other students. We used to study from this place. Maybe now we'll be studying from the... So why should it be a problem? Experiments. The experiments which we are going to be doing, I want to... this semester I want to be very nice and hard working. So I want to get these manuals, and then I scan them, and then I make sure that I put them at this point, so that you are able to find them. This one I'm going to say the playlist of the electronics and instrumentation lectures is there. And then the quizzes are almost like the ones of assignments, but I intend to have quizzes here which are just for practice, so that you can do some practice. But also under assignments, I can give us last semester in electronics and instrumentation. I gave you an assignment of making notes on FETs, I think. What was the other thing? What? MOSFETs, yeah. MOSFETs, and then that was all. Some of you are asking me, where are the marks for the... I wish I had chosen to only give that one, since you were asking. And maybe it's those who are saying that I advertise this course, we shall have one of the practicals being robots. We are going to build robots. So the robots are in my office, there are 2, and we shall be able to build the Explorer and line follower. And line follower, when the students were having a robotics challenge, some students, I think from both colleges, I don't know what it is called, they used the line follower analogy to make a robot that can make markings in a pitch. So you program it, it has the marking paint, then it goes marking the pitch without any assistance. Because it can follow the line and then drop the paint. Up to now, I'm not sure how much money is needed to put lines in our boards. And if they are asking for a loan and they are procuring a consultant, whether that part is not there. A road is, for example, a road like Ginger Road is being built, repaired. They are going to repair it, it will get broken again without ever putting a single line.
It's expensive.
Do you have an uncle who is in construction? Or is it you are defending
No, I once worked in a road construction.
Okay, so how expensive is it?
Because you have to buy that paint, you buy it from China, you export it to Ghana, then you have to bring some workers who are going to boil it to some extent. Then you have to buy that machine. It is very expensive. That is baking lines that is computerized to make those lines. Just you command it that I want a line of 1.5 from here to there, or dotted or not dotted.
So is it part of the road design or it is a miracle?
It is part of the road design.
So what makes it expensive?
Those guys want to chew the money so that they stay away from designing the roads.
Yes, so that's what I was saying, that somebody knows that if they don't do that, they will get their money.
Yeah.
So I just crafted these parts here. And put them just to make sure that I can start having the materials look a bit. But you could give me ideas of how it could be ordered, or what other things you think would be there. Another page which I could put of what. I think on one of the links, I put a link on the course, and that link. So still there is, after these listings here, we have course description, course objectives, course outline in tabular form, and the hours we're supposed to be spending on video or whatever. Then the references, then lecture 1 which we had on the August 14, lecture 2 which we had on the August 15. We didn't have any lecture yesterday, we aborted it, but it is today. So we are going to be having one lecture a week, but which is actually two lectures, the single and the double. So we shall be having one lecture as we say, which is the right grammar, because you can say fishes if you are talking of the tilapia and mud fish. One we say. Any question about navigation? Now you know. Had you reached there, or you were just seeing study resources and you were not? Had anyone of you reached that page before? Because I designed it, kept quiet, and to see whether there is any curious student. Nothing. Yes.
So if you can add some old
Old
videos.
old videos.
It's a link. A link
For
to the old videos.
what do you mean?
To be published.
What do you mean by old videos?
No, like you're saying something that you can add.
Yes, but I want to know what I'm adding. Old videos. Old videos from where? From mine or from the net?
No, you know what?
Okay, so this, I'm sorry, this one is found in these ones here, but like this. These videos, when you watch the video, maybe I haven't done it, but when you watch the video, at the end, a couple of videos show up. Those, nowadays I put a video, then put subscribe, then other 2 videos. Those videos are the old videos that are related to this video. For example, if this is the course outline, then at the end, I put the videos which are like in electromagnetism. I put the videos which are related to that video. So we can take that as the old videos. But because I don't know, when you say old videos are old. They seem to all be old after some time. So I just wanted something that will still be like even after 10 years. Because my videos, the videos here in the playlist, some are 8 years, 7 years, some, so I see 6 years, 7 years, 5 years. themselves. I hope you are fine with me. I don't want you to feel bad that you have made a proposition and then I have kicked it out. Tulituka. Contribute. So that you are proud that that page we are the ones who said that one we put it. Not me. Did they say student senate? I'm now copying the idea of the competence-based curriculum. So, what else do you want me to put there?
Part of textbooks and pamphlets.
Pamphlets. So we say references. Okay. So references, and under references here, we shall put textbooks. I'm just putting brackets, but these brackets won't appear, but this is what is going to be there. So books plus links to the course, course materials, anything that concerns instrumentation. Links to Arduinos, links to projects by students abroad, links to amazing stuff, to mention very few. That one is so this one should replace this, I think. Or this one, I think it's okay. All are okay. We shouldn't replace it with anything.
Should replace the notes.
Should replace the notes.
Yeah.
These notes, like for electromagnetism, these notes are the notes we are using in class. So they are not links. They are not, yes, they are the references are to refer to when you are having the notes. So you want also to kick this one, something out because I kicked out you. You are like inside you are like, you kicked mine out, I want to kick out something. It's too wide, but I have no problem. I just want you to have a one-stop center where you go and find all the materials. And be able to access. And I intend to make sure that I make it very lively this time and make it a place to, when you are there, you're thinking of going here and there, you should be comfortable. When I watch my videos, it's like I'm in class studying. It's like I'm amazed. I was amazing those days. So it's. And then on the videos, there are two videos when I'm playing with the Explorer robot. That's why I'm not carrying, I didn't carry it here. Because you can see on the video that actually I was playing around with it, made the line follow to follow the line. So I'll come in class, demonstrate it during the lab when we are introducing, when I'm introducing you to the lab. And then there are small pieces. You have tires, you have servo motors, you have the brick, which is the brain, and then you have small pieces which you keep putting together, and then the robot. I made the whole human being robot one time, and because the batteries were weak, it just did like this. Then the batteries went out. after building the damn thing, and the whole human robot, after putting all the sensors, did like this. Then it stopped. No, it was stable. It did not fall down. So because I couldn't get the batteries, which I have. Then any one of you who did internship at Fundibot, I've not been there, but I think one of our students did whatever there. I got introduced to robots in 2010. Then these robots were here for a long time. They had been here for like a year or so without anyone making them usable. Then I made them work. So when I was teaching this course, I used them. When I stopped teaching this course, nobody was bothered about them. They were lying there. So when I have told it now, I've told it. So when I was always commenting about people who talk about robots, you were like, this man is a wise he thinks he can comment on anything. No. Only that, like I told you, when they made us to make robots, for us we made the ones which fight each other. When they were introducing us to robots, and we got a project to make design, build a robot, and for Africans we are building those which will be hitting each other. The mindset is very chaotic. So, I'm now comfortable that we've agreed on has anyone accessed? You have accessed these resources, Kauma.
Right now.
You've seen them right now. So that's the place where I will be putting a lot of stuff to make sure that the whole course will be here almost. The whole course. The whole course is on Moira with weeks. Each week is full, but I have only 2 weeks which are open. But once we are used, I'll open everything so that you can access everything. The reason I hide it is that when people go through and say, oh, everything is here, videos, why am I attending? So that's why I'm trying to make sure that we don't fall for that. So we are adding references. Is the name okay?
Yes.
Which name? I want to be sure why you said yes. Which name are you saying yes to?
The name of the course.
Which one? Which name? You mention it, the one I'm saying whether it's okay. That one is the university policy. I cannot change the electronics and instrumentation. That name is, the name I'm talking about is Course Study Resources 2024. Does that sound like it, if I do what I've said, putting all this stuff and adding more stuff to references, always adding the lecture we do here, does that name, is this name Course Study Resources, 2024 represent what I have explained will be under here?
Yes.
Great. Now you can say oh yes or no.
Yes.
You'll be killed for nothing. In our village, we had a man called Mujinga. Well, it is Mujinga. It is a normal name. So when he reached a roadblock, he came for him because he's a villager. He's not. These people have their money from the village. He has sold solar and whatever. And then when he reached for him, I think he either wanted to pass on, so the soldier in Swahili said, "Where Mujinga?" He said, "Hey, you have known me." And for him, he thought I had known him. Like even soldiers know his name. They came that fella. So don't just say yes without understanding the question. You are still saying yes. Maria, any question? Any expectations? By the way, let me ask you the expectations. Other than marks, some people go for a course just because they want to get marks. But for me, I know you know I'm mean, isn't it? Very mean. But I give marks. You don't know, but you think I'm mean. But I know I give marks. I teach you to get marks. It is you to make your marks. I don't have any marks in the store. Maria, so I start from behind like this. What are your expectations of this course? Like when you finish it, so what? You learn how to? No, we are not going to make robots. We are just going to design a robot using small materials, but we are not going to we're not going to manufacture robots. When you say make robots, it's like we're going to manufacture robots. So we are not going to manufacture any robot. Another new face. Hey, you man, do you know me?
Yes, sir.
I think I only met you in an exam, if I remember, if my memory is right. And either your permit was not bringing out things, so I had first search. Anyway, you are a Duke BSc Petroleum.
You.
A Duke. I've never seen you, but maybe you have never seen me. So now there are two people here whose faces are new. That is not a problem. So this was about the course study resources. And then on the top of the course on the web, still on the top, there is a click here to find the course registration form. And this registration form will help me get your name, registration number, student number, email of the university, as well as an upload of your identity card. Yes, so you will take a photo, and after taking a photo, upload that photo using your phone. All of you, I see you moving around with swag, with your smartphones. So you just put a phone on your identity card like this, you tap in the middle so that it becomes clearer. Then you take the photo, then you go to the form, you say submit. And then I get to know that you are the actual guy. I am tired of hustling to look for people's names. There are people who put in 2 names, but they have 3 names official on their admission names, whatever. So I want to see your identity card itself. So I'll get that information. It will help me a lot.
Should it be a national ID or a ID?
I am teaching here a university course, so I need the university ID. If you want to put the national ID to replace the student ID, you must also upload the police letter. You should take the photos of the national ID and the police letter, make them one document, because I think I made it possible to upload a PDF or an image, and then you upload both, so that I know why you are putting the national ID. The national ID. Because the national ID doesn't give me, you see, if you, where I don't remember whether I put the option of BSc or education.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there. But also I will confirm by looking at your ID. Although the university has failed to follow systems, your IDs are having names, I think, all in caps, but your admission letter has uppercase for surname and lowercase is beginning with capital for the rest of the... But when I checked a few people's IDs who have already done it, the all names are in uppercase. I don't know what can happen to have order. And in electronics, when you do something in a fake way, then you blow up stuff. That's why you have to be careful. Maybe that's why I'm also too concerned about particulars. You put batteries in a radio in a reverse order, it's the same voltage, but it is not in the order it should be. You don't get any signal. It doesn't go on. So people who say, but after all it is the same, there are 2 batteries. But they are not in the order they are supposed to be. If they put a negative bit here on the spring and then here is the positive where they should, if they are to be, the current should be flowing from positive through the circuit to the negative. If you reverse them, you don't get nothing. And in the village, because I was repairing people's radios, some people would put these batteries in reverse and then say the thing failed, it doesn't work. When they bring and you notice that, you just open the whole thing, put there. Say, come tomorrow. Tomorrow when they come, the thing is blasting music. You get your money. So when you go to an electrician, be aware. Or go when you know the problem. But because you cannot repair it yourself, of recent, my vehicle almost made me sleep on the road. Okay, one vehicle made me sleep on the road, but one made me almost sleep on the road. Then when I went to the petrol station, the guy said, maybe it is water. Indeed, I checked, it was water. So I filled up the thing. When I ignited the engine, the water disappeared. I filled again, it a bit sustained, so I took it home. So when I checked in the engine, the thermostat had broken, so water was leaking. So I just got up the thermostat, brought it to my mechanic in town and told him, get me this thing. So I saw him very disappointed, because that was good money. He would tell me they have costed this one, this, then my labor. So I only gave him to buy. He bought, I took home, fixed the thing, I have no problem. Yesterday I came happily. Today is what? Thursday. So yesterday I came happily, went happily. I think the other day and yesterday and also today I'm sure I should be able to go home happily and come happily. So you shouldn't do a course here and everything you just roll some take and you just fold and I don't know what happened. You should be able to diagnose, but because you don't have materials, maybe you don't have the tools, screwdrivers and whatever, that's the reason you are giving it to the mechanic, but not because you don't know what happened. I'm not in that category. My bicycle, I repair it myself. My vehicle, a couple of things, small things I do it myself. It's these ones which need a mechanical person that I don't have to hustle. But that one I diagnosed, found it broken, removed it, put a small pipe as a provision to make sure that I can start the vehicle and move it around just a bit. I came to town, I gave him the sample. He got me the other one. I went home, fixed it myself. The 20K or 50K you would have asked, I had it. That's why I went to school. These videos, I edit them myself. Otherwise, if you were to get a guy in town who is a videographer, he would be telling you, it takes a lot of time, it needs a high-speed computer, blah, blah, blah. Storage, I need to have an external drive to store them, and then when it is always big, so I do it myself. So when I enter my office, and I only get out when I'm going home, some people wonder what I'm doing in my office. Some think I'm a loner, like I don't know how to associate with people or socialize. I have things to do. Why should I be wasting my time on the outside? So since Marco was assuming she would come, since she was there on the course outline, I just want to do a summary on the course outline for the benefit of everybody, so that when we start the course, we are good to go. So now that officially we are in the other hour, I can just, those of you who were there, please, I apologize for repeating myself, but I just want to repeat myself for the benefit of everybody, so that we do the course with a peaceful mind. If you cooperate with me, we shall enjoy the course. If you don't cooperate, it will be difficult for both of us. So I cancelled through the Wednesday of 8. I left the hour there, but I cancelled through on meeting days. Then Thursday now I made it 16 to 19 hours. We can even go up to 20 hours. Because, yes, like now you came late, so we can go to 19:30, because you all came after. When you grow old, you'll just be there and you're like, the man who was trying to teach us, we are always saying, and we left him to teach us. Okay, but so when I was on when Facebook was not closed, I think I had over 4,000 followers, I mean likes on Facebook, on the page. I had a page and an account. On the account I was meeting with people. There is a psychologist who said that you can only take care of 150 people. You can only have 150 connections if you are having meaningful connections. So I had made sure I regulate my Facebook account only 150. Unlike Twitter where you tag and whatever people read and that's it, but Facebook was a bit personal. You put your followers, there is a part for albums. So, and I had a lot of stuff, videos, whatever, so I just needed people who are so close. But when they closed Facebook to Uganda, I'm a very obedient citizen. So I also left it, it is there, but the page is here. And when you are on our network here, it is not closed, it is open. I don't know whether you realize that. Yes. When you are here, you can access. Then, of course, the next link is for the courses. Sorry, for the. I don't know why I put the link to these ones. Yeah, it's okay. It's electromagnetism, which is on Hope Concerts, isn't it? I know you haven't been there, but the videos are like on another channel, not on my channel. Oh, and I forget. When you see those advertisements showing up on the video, that is money. But because I normally don't get many people to watch, and they also let the adverts play, on average every month I only see there $10. So you can imagine if the whole universe was to watch my videos, I'll become a millionaire. You don't know. I'll teach you what I'm talking about all the time. So when you're on electromagnetism and then you open those videos and adverts come, don't think you are lost. It's normal. Those adverts, if you want, people like, I will give an example. People like Airtel will pay Google to run the adverts on YouTube. Then when you watch and an advert comes and you watch it up to the end or click on it to go to the website, then they get the owner of the YouTube channel gets money. That's why you see people like Rema are very proud because they make a lot of money from YouTube. That's why the late Tamarin Lulu was so marketable, because when he's talking that nonsense with the Kasukus and the like, actually they are making money. For you just think it is fun or whatever, no, they are making money. And I'm the one who made them make that money. I have evidence. So Tamale used to be on TV and people would only get small bits of Tamale of his funny talk, his monologues. So I started recording full shows and put them on YouTube. And they became popular, especially for they are called Kadamas or Nakadama. For the Kadamas, I think, for the ones who are abroad. When I was abroad, you miss home. When you are out abroad, it's like when you are in Kampala and you are from the village. Sometimes you even may try to make an image of how your village roads are and you can't pick it. And when it reaches Christmas, you want to run back and at least move around the village and remember the old corners. When you're abroad, it is worse. It is not as easy as flying back and then that's money. So when I realized that it's something that people miss, so I was putting them online. But then he got problems with NBS. So when he got problems with NBS, and I think NBS management was like, we cannot, I think one day he wanted to box his host, the presenter, either he boxed him or something. So the relationship became worse. So I made a comment, I tweeted and said that it doesn't matter. Tamale doesn't need to be in the studio. Just go to the compound, get chairs with somebody, make the interview, talk your nonsense, put on YouTube, everyone will watch it. And the first guy to do that was Kasuku. And he has never looked back. But I don't like his attitude. He's too braggative. When you get money, you don't brag about money. Just chew your money quietly.
Sure.
And that went on, I think, for even Red Kato also was, the people who were interviewing him, they were making some good money. I don't know why. The people who are making, people to make money, they are slowly by slowly being finished. Whether God likes also them to go and talk from heaven, I don't know. So that's how I made it, but of course, me, no one knows. Even if I talk, people will say, you are, who knows you? I don't care. But I know I'm the only one who used to put those shows online and in full length, even up to today. There's no other channel, there's no other TV station which can put a whole show and in full and in the original order. We put, NBS will put barometer, first session, and then the second session, but then where adverts come, that is disjointed. Me, I put everything. How? I can't even tell you those words. It's classified. So the course description, just to make sure that I'm doing this for the first time, I think, in my life, where I repeat myself for students. So, Fred, I'm trying to advertise and encourage people by doing the unthinkable, repeating the course outline as if I never said it. So there is a course outline here, and there is a course outline which is interactive on the course page. And the electronics lab, which you see there, that link for electronics lab is an online place where you find some projects. Arduinos, whatever, then solar system, everything that concerns electronics and instrumentation. The interactive ones has a few things, maybe could, yeah, most of the things I added them. So where you see greenish things like transducers, when you tap on the transducer, then you get the Wikipedia link that to Wikipedia which talks about transducer. So that's what it means by interactive course outline. When you tap on it, you get on transducers. Then the other one is amplitude modulation. You tap on it, it will take you to Wikipedia, and you know everything about amplitude modulation. Then frequency modulation, the FM, you will tap on it, it will tell you about how FM radio works and how it came about and the like. Then there is demodulation of both amplitude and then a multimeter for the inner parts and functioning of a typical multimeter. Then explain the physical effects used in CRO. The CRO also, I put a link to talk about CRO, and then that was under the course objectives. Then under course outline, the follow tube is a link. There's a link to a follow tube, a follow multiplier, follow diode, follow transistor, follow conductivity, to make sure that you at least you get the information that I cannot come here and talk about in one lecture, okay, in 1 hour or 2 hours. When you are, instead of going to watch or look for information about Arsenal. By the way, did the elephant manage? I remember telling those, who was the elephant?
Isaac.
Isaac, I thought he was, Isaac, I think. I told him that it would be very absurd for an elephant to fall completely. And it really fell a big bang.
Now we are watching this, it's getting back.
Is it already up?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
It normally starts from the top.
No.
By default.
No. Now it's down. We have to wash it. We apply some whatever. We'll be back in a few days.
Then so that I just wanted to explain that, and that page I have to update it. I last updated it, modified it on Thursday, 16th August 2018 at 9:09 a.m. So I'll have to update it on this bit. So the lab, I don't know whether you're on weather.
Yes.
Yes, on the one which is saying electronics lab. The guidelines are I don't know whether some of you had and put it, they are the same as for last, it's the same lab, we shall be here. So this, if there are those who had not gotten, I printed men I think last time, and I could have given out the guidelines in the, how many are you here? Not 17. You didn't count yourself.
17.
I'm doubting Thomas. So I counted you before I asked. If you got, I take long to trust people. So if you got last time, don't get. If you don't get today, don't feel bad. They are the same guidelines like we got last time. Because we are going to do the experiments we are going to do are mainly to see the applications. So the people, all of you are doing the lecture before today, before 4 is MTM, not geophysical. I'm asking MTM, all of you. Good. That makes my life a little bit easy. The network keeps tripping off. I don't know why. And when that's the problem of being online, you get. So the electronics lab is when it takes you to the. It takes you to the. It takes you to some nice place where you can get to know how sophisticated stuff are done. So it should be able to help you. I'm just trying to connect. Right. So allow me just take you through the outline once again. But before the outline, for those of you who have come today, this course unit introduces the students to the physics of basic transducers. So the whole course almost is about transducers. Even when we got the communication system, still we are dealing with it, because you have a studio with a microphone to pick up the voice. The microphone is a transducer. You get the message transmitted, and when you reach the destination, if you are using a radio to tap your waves, still the speaker of the radio is a transducer. So it changes the electrical signal into an audio signal which is going to vibrate, make the air around it vibrate, and then you are able to hear the message. God is amazing. I'm just talking and then I make the air vibrate, then it dances on your earphone, and then diaphragm on the ear, and then you are able to hear what I'm saying. If you have a lot of wax, then I see you struggling to hear me. I think I have too much wax. I will go to the hospital. And then because when I put here headphones, it's like I hear things like drums are ringing in this other ear. So I am always only comfortable using these headphones in this other ear without causing trouble. Then the other thing is that, and they use in electronic circuits. So we shall be dealing with transducers and how they will be used in most electronic circuits. Then the best transducers are covered, and these best ones are radiation transducers from the radiation which we especially could be solar radiation. And you can see when you have radioactive material for indeed nuclear last, this is first semester. Nuclear is in the second semester. So if you have a nuclear source and then you have a meter for testing the nuclear materials around, then it starts beeping. If the source is so near and it is stronger, then the beeping goes higher. So that means it is a sensor. So when we talk of radiation sensors or radiation transducers, it could be sunlight. If you have a solar panel and you just have, let's say, these lamps which use solar panel, solar energy, and then you put your solar panel on sunlight, you start seeing the dots, the lights moving, showing that now it is charging. So now you are having a solar cell or a solar panel acting as a transducer. The photons hit on. After photons have hit the solar cell, electrons are emitted, and then those electrons start moving, and then they constitute a current. And then if you have a battery, you use that current that has been produced because of the photons which make the electrons to emerge out of the solar cell, and then they charge up your battery. So if you put it on sunlight for some time, the charging goes on for some time, and then once it fills up in the night, you make now the electrons to move, and as they are moving, they keep distorting themselves until when they are confused, then it goes off. Then tomorrow you have to put on the sun to make them aligned again. Once they are aligned completely, then when you are drawing the current from it, they try to move nicely, giving you a good current until when they get tired and start resting on ways, and once all of them are disorganized, you no longer have any current. And then the battery goes down. Then you repeat the same. That's why they say don't use your phone as it is charging. Because you spoil the battery. I think one of my phones which I use as a hotspot at home is when I held it whether in the stomach or whatever like this, I felt it is bulging. And today morning when I put it near each other like another one like this, I realized that it is having a belly. It's because I put it in charge and leave it on, so it is trying to give me the signal, struggling to charge, so the battery now I think is getting spoiled. And I think it is, because if you see this phone, I've been with this phone maybe from 2016 or 15, and you can see how slim it is. No problem. The other one is already bulging. Because of the charging and discharging and charging, so it gets tired. It's like telling you to walk as you eat. Or be on how do they call this thing where they run when they are not going nowhere? Treadmill or something, I don't know. Me, I'm a victim, I don't do those things. That thing, if you were to go there start running on it as you eat food, I'm sure you can even collapse at one time. Because your food, the food you are eating is not really being utilized immediately by the machine. So either you will fill up yourself, but you need the food to run, but it is just in your stomach, and then you can collapse. That's the same thing with the example I've given you of, for example, radiation. So if the solar, that's why some of the systems, if your panel, like these street lights, if the light comes and charging starts, then light should go off. Then it charges as long as light is there, it starts charging, no light. When the light goes, charging stops, then you start drawing the current. Then the other one is thermoelectric, then mechanical, capacitive, inductive, and then the elements of a communication system, and then some examples of measuring instruments and regulators will be presented in the course. That's a description. The objectives are that by the end of this course, the students should be able to differentiate between input transducer and output. So the keywords are input and output. You can never have a speaker being an input transducer. The speaker will always give you the output. You'll always be able to hear the sound or a buzzer if it is being used as a buzzer. The buzzer for the digital watches is a melody. These ones which make melody. I had innovated when I was young. They have a speaker which is a flat disc deposited with some stuff on it. So I used to get I don't remember the cover of what, but I remember it used to be some cover, either cover of some jelly, like these lotions. So I get this, I would get that cover, then I put this thing in there, get the two wires which normally feed the signal in, and then I cut a nice sponge here, and I used to have headphones. When you put to close, the sound comes out when you put in the sound from the radio. When you are so close to them, the sound is there. But they are used as buzzers, like for making melody when it is time, then or when it is an alarm. So from childhood, me, I was enjoying stuff. I don't know what you are doing. At least I have a fellow villager in Yansi who also knows how to do these things. Others, you are just in town playing with tablets. If you are lucky, you are always on TV watching animals running around in the park. For us, we are trying to innovate technology. I don't know, I enjoyed my childhood. I enjoyed my childhood in the sense that I've never been idle. When I was a child, I was never idle. Either I'm repairing somebody's shoes, I'm looking after coats. I think I made the shoe from the goat skin or whatever. So, I don't know you others what to do. So by the end of this, you can be able to differentiate that a microphone is an input transducer and the speaker is an output transducer. Then 2, explain the general principle of transducers and basic building blocks of communication system. So the moment you know that there is a microphone at the studio of a radio station and that someone's home, they have to have a speaker, and then we also need to know how everything goes across from the studios to the home receiver. And that one is in terms of the communication system, which is whereby we'll be able to know the building blocks. We've moved on. We have moved from analog, now we are digital. So I may introduce you to analyze amplitude modulation, AM, and frequency modulation signals using Fourier, which you call the Fourier, using Fourier series. It is not Fourier, it's Fourier, if you are speaking in French. So is it yesterday when people were giving me the funny sayings in Uganda? When I say Fourier series, people normally laugh, I don't know why. So that's why I told you that somehow in the course you'll be able to find me as if I'm sounding funny, but I didn't know that I would be able to talk about it here in the... So we shall use the use of Fourier transforms to analyze M and FM is just for purposes of you knowing the genesis of communication, but we have moved on. We are no longer trying to fidget with the amplitude of a signal in order to modulate it. Nowadays we get it direct, we're just interested in the frequency. So the FM transmission is point of sight. If you go behind the hill, it becomes hard to get the signal. That's why in Kampala here you have radio stations which are basically almost for Kampala. When you cross to Mukono, the signal becomes miserable. And then you find a strong signal for the ones which are in Mukono. You cross to Jinja, you find the in Kode, and everything is okay. When you left all these other channels in Kampala, and because of the problem of point of sight. And even those stations which try to enhance their signals in these other new areas, they end up changing the frequency. You hear that capital FM is 91.3 here in Kampala. When you go to, I think, Jinja, it is 92 something megahertz. You go to Barara, it can be 88.7. So you can, I think you cannot, they could have, through UCC, they could have booked the frequency across. And even if they are enhancing their signal, still use the same frequency. I don't know why they couldn't do that. But that's the reason why you find that different frequencies for the same radio station in different places. Because FM, when you are trying to modulate the frequency, because for amplitude, for AM, this is the amplitude here, the maximum displacement from the mean position. So when you are trying to modulate this, modulating meaning that you are trying to make sure that you enhance it, to make sure that it continues being, where it tries to be depreciated, you try to enhance it so that it goes at the same value until it goes to the receiver. It is no longer tenable to struggle with an amplitude, and because it uses a lot of energy. Like what I'm saying, to maintain it means that you'll have a lot of energy to transmit it in that form. And also when somebody is receiving it, to get a good signal and continue getting a nice signal, their batteries run out very fast. You realize that when we are still, which you didn't experience because of your age, when we still had the bands of shortwave, 1, 2, 3 EDC, depending on the strength of someone's radio. And so during these times of amplitude modulation and shortwave, things were not good. You find the radio is talking, then it goes up, out of nowhere, then it goes down, then start doing shh. When FM came, it's like every radio was like a radio cassette. As long as the batteries are high, you bang music loud. And then also the DJ, the owners got to know the trick. It was always like the catchphrase for Capital FM? That thing they say when they say this is Capital FM best music. That phrase is what? What do you listen to? What do you listen to? Huh? My favorite radio station is was. Those days when I used to listen to, when I just come around, was Simba, because of being Pan-African. You don't hear an English song on Simba, unless if it is, I think, dance force on the Saturday night. But on these other occasions, you don't hear Celine Dion, those things that you hear Chris Brown being played on Simba. That's why I liked it. Pure Uganda, and it taught me Uganda, so you cannot backbite me in Uganda. So what do you listen to? Radio City or what? Fred, what do you listen to? Which radio do you listen to? This one of Benon. I'm not good at listening to people who indoctrinate you, like people who think they should think for you. I'm not good at that. I really, because this is the radio, Simba is the radio I listened to when I was here. Okay, when I came to Kampala in 1998, how old were you?
Negative.
You were air. They were still breathing you as air. So I came here in 1998, and that's when WBS and Simba had been open. As a student. As a student. As a fresher. Yes, so as a fresher, I had like a small radio, so I started listening to Simba. Then I started watching the CNN on WBS. So that's how I got a problem with my tongue. Because it was always cloud, it was still a test signal, so there was always CNN. And I really, when I looked at some of the cities, I always wanted to go abroad. And I went. So what you dream is what you get. Let me tell it to you today. What you want to be or what you want to get is what you get. God does not innovate for you. That's why some people get things and those things still go away because they were not ready for them. God was like, let me see whether I can like it. And then still someone spoils it. Please leave me alone. I told you that I no longer want to comment about God things. I want to be at peace so that when I become a pastor, you don't say what happened to this man. So I'm leaving a window for here. When you want to be rich, you can. I think it is easy to be rich. This man down here told the people, I want a Range Rover. Kakani said, I want a Range Rover. Send me $300. And people said, I don't know whether he has already gotten the Range Rover. He hasn't. He hasn't? Ah, $300 was opened. I also want a Range Rover. Not even fooling around that God said I should drive a good car. No, he said, I want a Range Rover. Send money and then I will pray for you. Why doesn't he pray for himself to get a Range Rover? Maganda say Muganga Teganga, so I maybe that one he can use that excuse, but he wants to pray for people. They say 300, then he buys them a Range Rover. He buys himself a Range Rover, then he gives them prayer. To get their own vehicles. So the FM, because it is the person who was talking about salt FM. FM that brought me into talking about the FM works in that form. So at least I will talk about the FM modulation, FM modulation, frequency modulation. So when we try to look at understand how to play around with frequency, where it becomes so much and less. So this is the frequency modulation. We can modulate this frequency at particular points, and when we play around with it, then we will be able to transmit our signal with no problem. So I may be forced to do some full transforms for this modulation, but we've moved on. We are now having some of the stations, like I said last time, already being broadcasted on a TV set via satellite. So you can free there, I think it is Impact FM, Radio 1, they have put Simba, then there is this other one of Alpha, I don't remember the others. When you scan, when you do auto scan, they also show up. So you get a list of these channels, as well as the ones of even ATV is still there. Analog TV is still available, and analog TV works if you are using. Anyone of you who knows an RF cable? An RF cable was being used on a deck. So on a deck there is a part which is like that of the TV. So you put in one side of the RF cable. RF is radio frequency. Radio frequency. Then the other side you plug it in the TV. And then you scan the TV like you are scanning for channels. And then the deck becomes one of the channels. And once you have gotten the channel, then you put in your cassette and start playing the movie. These days you just go on internet, download on an SD card, put in an SD card reader or a flash directly, plug in, and then even without a remote, immediately it starts playing. And you watch your nice movie on so that's why I'm saying that we have moved on. We are no longer in that state where we are during shortwave here, because in S5, I used to have to struggle reading. You know, you are reading, the other ones are in the kitchen, it's chaotic. So some guy who had already come here gave us a trick. He said, for him, he sleeps at 7. Once he leaves at school, reaches home, he sleeps at 7. 22. Don't sleep now. He sleeps at 7. 7 p.m. Once he sleeps at 7 p.m., he wakes up at midnight, and that's it. Until next day at 5. And it worked for me. So being a day scholar, and then you have these villagers who pass by in the evening even to say hello, then you have issues, whatever, then they are calling you for food, then when you have just eaten, the talk is interesting. So when from school, when I reach home, whenever I had a bicycle, so you leave school, you are tired, you cycled home, then you reach home. I told you the story of this fool whom I gave a lift, and he was saying that, did I say that story? My bike, when I had bought my bike, I was from school. Our school was on a hill. So in the morning, it was a hassle to ride that bicycle uphill. Actually, in exams, I used to leave it at some guy's place who has a sewing machine. So one day I'm from school, tired. I've chopped all the back hose questions. I'm saying all the questions in back hose about differentiation. So I am tired. The mind is still running with all the differentiation, the rate of change. So I find this village mate. So I go off the bike like this. I say, you now ride, let's go home. He said, if you don't want to ride to carry me, you go. I just went back on my bike and went home. And when I reached home, I removed the carrier. When I reached home, I got the spanner. How do I buy a bicycle? I want to give you a lift, and then you still want me to. That is familiarization of the highest order. Eh? And nowadays, I don't even care if I don't give somebody a lift. I try to give someone a lift, and when I said, "Can I take you?" I'm going to town. Say, "Where do you pass?" I said, "I pass through town. I am going to Makerere." You have to first explain to some. So these days, me, I just drive. It is my vehicle. It's my money. You can go and curse me if you want. Everything I first give people a chance. When they spoil it, I try to give somebody a lift. At least you let me take you up to Constitution School. I've already given you a lift. You can get a border. You have saved some money and time. You asking me, where do you pass? As if you contributed to my vehicle. But you know the funny thing? You get a puncture. They say, we see each other tomorrow. You remain alone, fixing your vehicle. Because it is your problem, it is your burden. So if you ever hear that I don't, but anyway, I'm lucky. I go late in the night. I come very early in the morning, so I don't find people waiting for people for a lift. So that's how I avoid problems. But even if it was during the day and you are just there always looking like this, I just look there and go. I have no time for explanations. There's another bad story which I don't think it will. A man in early morning, a man with a belly, very smart, finds a very beautiful skimpy with a skimpy dress, asks for lift, he gives the lift. They reach some stage. She said, I'm stopping here. When the man stops, the girl says, pay me. So the man said, pay you for what? And people came around, saying, see, this man, we are from his home. And he doesn't want to pay me my money. So what do? Slap. You slap? This girl was right that she had worked for him. She did her work overnight, and now the man doesn't want to pay. Me, I drive with the camera, so if anyone tries, I say, but people, this is the camera, I can show you where I picked her from. That's how I avoid problems. So me, I have avoided a problem with this friend of mine here. In the class, you can't say I talk a lot of nonsense. I have evidence. Someone will come and judge whether it is nonsense. In tests, I make sure you don't copy. And in the vehicle, my camera is always on. At home, not at home, I switch it off. At home, I switch it off. Because I want to sleep in peace without any problems. But I recorded put a recorder I wanted to know whether I snore, and I found out that I do. Sometimes when I'm tired. So I know that. So if you have somebody whom you tell you snore and they refuse, just get your phone, record, put on near him, and when they are awake and they have been denying, you just put. And then you say, so you can use a transducer of your phone and get evidence, because there are people who will never accept anything. Say, me, I don't. So just put there, record, and then play for them. Does that sound like you?
I can't accept it.
I've already said that there are people who will never accept something. So you are one of them. Then the other objective, to describe practical methods for demodulation of AM and FM signals the basic circuits of a simple radio receiver. And those of you who were here last time, I told you that I had made a radio station using a microphone circuit. So I got a microphone, the one of the FM, public address system, because most of these public address systems you see is an FM transmitter. So you have the microphone, you have the transmission circuit in here, and then on the public address system you adjust, you tune, you are tuning a radio until when you get the sound. So when they are busy doing testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the other guy is busy tuning, like he's tuning a radio, until when he gets the fundamental frequency, and then the signal is good. And then they test around, move around to make sure if I am facing this way. That's why sometimes they make somebody rigid to make sure that it does like it. Then it makes, then he has to be at a certain point so that there is a point of sight from the transmitter on the microphone to the public address system. Make sure you have an enhanced good signal around. So I made that circuit, but instead of having an input of the microphone, I put the signal of the radio cassette. So I would adjust the volume to you remember when we were doing the feedback, the negative feedback, whereby you have to increase the volume until when you feel like the signal is still good. So I just needed some small signal to take a signal to now I will move around campus with my FM radio receiver, but not insisting on when somebody is listening to Kudi, and when for me I want to listen to some slow music. Is Kudi a song or just a phrase? It's a song, yes. So I had people complaining about such a thing. So instead of listening to Kudi, now me I will be listening my slow music or any other music that is my preference. Because I had so I had some cassette tapes. I also innovated when I reached here. These things I do, don't think I do them out of nowhere. In A level, because of chemistry being wide, I had thought of what if I recorded chemistry notes, and even if I'm doing other things, I listen to the notes. Organic chemistry is this, okay, like crystallization is this, those many explanations. So when I reached here, I made some tapes of chemistry. Then just as practice. Then I also made for philosophy, from education. I read the notes, and then in my free time, like those who do chores, you are doing chores, you can't read when you are doing chores. So you can be listening to the content of the chemistry or biology, as long as it is continuous, these courses which are continuous, whatever. So I would be listening, and I made those tapes. I don't remember where I put them when I went away. I don't remember where I put them. I would love to look for them. That's how far I came from until now here. So my dream is that in the future, when I retire, I will get a team and go around the schools and then record best teachers. If a guy is in Namagunga or in Kisubi or Budo or Gayaza and they say this is the guy who teaches nicely, why not record his lessons? And then also my village mates see a Budo teacher teaching. You get the point? So I think I will start by getting a big smart TV, get those videos from those top schools and take to my former schools and donate to them. So here is the TV, here are the recordings. That's how those people in Kampala study. It's not so different, only that they use good English. So if I ever ask you to contribute to my former school, don't refuse. When I say, send some mobile money, People who watch things on my channel, we are willing to send me some money on phone, but I was very hesitant. If they send you money and you are in millions, you may end up in jail. You may think some donors are sending you money to have a protest in Kampala. By the time you explain yourself, things are bad. So I refused. Well, I didn't refuse, but I pretended I don't like money. Because I don't want to be in jail for small money. My 1 year salary is enough. If they just gave me money which is a quarter of my annual salary, I will end up in jail. Even the Bank of Uganda can easily block my SIM card. But then is that worth it? But so eventually, if I will get a merchant code, and then you guys, whom I have told, you can contribute, I take to my choosing. Or buy you a better board, a better blackboard in the lecture theatre. I promised that I will donate that one. I've already donated the chair in the compound. Now I'm left with the board. When I see people seated there, I feel that God, through me, is serving His people. So I will now get you a nice board from the corner to the corner, and maybe 3 of them, so that if you want to teach a course, you can go there, write all the notes, and keep just removing and doing this. If you hear that I have gone to USA, I will make sure I order the board to come here before I return. Yes, you are right, because the other day when it drizzled, maybe the sanction, I realized that they did not even put a provision for the umbrella. So I will tell the guy who crafted it, he's a colleague in chemistry. I'll tell him that you need to put a provision for the umbrella. I can buy you the umbrella, but who will be keeping it? So then, after describing the circuit of a simple radio and the inner parts and functioning of a typical multimeter. So the multimeter we used here for measuring the voltage, for checking the diodes and the like. This time you should be able to know what is inside and how it works. And then you should be able to explain the physical effects used in a CRO, and be able to know the terms used like double beam. You remember when you were trying to fidget, and then all of a sudden you see you have to have the two channels on the same place, chopping and alternating, X and Y amplitudes. You try to do all those stuffs in an experiment in first year, but I don't think you remember anything. Those are figures and the like. But now, for the digital oscilloscopes, I want to make sure that you know more stuff on how they are used. So I think one of the experiments, I'll make sure that it takes care of these all stuff. And then also remember some of the probes had a magnification on them. You put it in, but none of you was really interested in that. Because this experiment, one, it was not concerning amplification of the channel. The other ones of amplifiers, of transistors and the like, the hassle for getting data was more than just knowing how this was. But now we are just going to be having experiments to help you learn the oscilloscope more than just taking data. And then finally explain the principle And of course, the other one is time-based and triggering and trigger level, so you'll be able to go away with that knowledge. Then finally explain the principles used in the thermostats, automatic switches, and remote controls. So by the end of this course, you should be able to know how a remote control of a car works, how do they program it, how can you, some people know how to jam it. So if you have a car, any one of you with a car? Yes, if you have a car, never close, when you are at a supermarket, don't close it with a remote. Lock the doors manually and just use the remote to put alarm, to activate the alarm. Like lock the doors, central lock, and then when you are banging the door, your driver's door, you will flip it up and bang. And so that way they cannot jam. Otherwise these people, they are very proud people. After coming out of the car, he gets the key like this, and then he walks, then and then I don't know, I am very, maybe because I'm a villager, you know, some guy just comes out and he shakes his keys like this, and then he walks, they have their phones. He's on phone, checking, and he's trying to call. So some guys sit around the supermarket areas, parking areas, and then once you are doing like this, for them they intercept your signal. So if you are fake that you don't even see whether the lights have showed that it has locked, you go on. They just come and take everything. You go wherever you have gone, you come back, you remember you locked, the bag is not there, nothing is there. So the best thing is you lock it central, you use central lock, you lock the locks with your door driver open, and then you pull the whatever they call it up, and then when you bang it on, everything is locked. No one knows. Actually for me, when I get out of the car and I'm going away, you may think I haven't even locked it. I just use the alarm to activate I use the remote to activate the alarm. That's it. There they cannot. If they intercept, they will intercept the activation of the alarm, but the doors are locked. So you have to be smart. So we should be able to know how remote controls work. The automatic switches will take a lot of transducers. So you use a lot of transducers for automatic switches. Automatic switches, if you are using, for example, an LDR, that is a light dependent resistor. Then it means that once the sun rises, the light increases the resistance, blocks the current, your switches go off. Once it becomes evening and the sun goes down, the light is gone, the resistance significantly goes down, current starts flowing, your lights go on. That's how street lights are worked on. So I have bulbs which are automatic bulbs. They have three sensors. Three or two sensors in them. These lights, I have them in my office, so I'll bring, in the due course I'll bring them here, I think during the practical session or whatever. I should have brought everything today to make sure that everything is explained at once. So these bulbs have here they have a unidirection sensor here. This is for motion, and then there is a layer here where there are LEDs, and of course somewhere here. This is plastic, I think, with some ventilation. This is another plastic which is transparent or translucent. Not transparent. Translucent, light can go through, but they are not transparent. You can't see through, but light goes through. So here, there is an LDR. So how these bulbs work is that when you switch them on, they will blink twice, then go off. So now they have current flowing in them. If it is during the day, the light doesn't go on. If it is during the night, the light doesn't go on until somebody comes walking around. So this sensor sees them, and then they go on. They go on for about, I think, 30 seconds if the obstacle just passed. But if you are there, like it's in the bathroom and you are bathing, and there is motion, it keeps on until when you are done. And when you become idle, it goes off. So this is where the idea of energy saving comes in. So if you install this bulb on a shade, it means that when you just switch on once and you don't need to care. During the day, LDR will keep it off. During the night, LDR will want to switch it on, but light doesn't come because it waits for the motion. So if somebody is passing through by your shade, and when they reach there, when I used to stay on Namuzugo with many neighbors, the kids would come just to dance over and they go on. So they used to die very fast because they are designed for really places where you need light and motion should not be so rampant. Because these kids would just come to dance and be happy to see the light going on and off. So most people, especially those who don't know the place, they think maybe someone has seen them and they have put the light. Because they just go, they reach there, the thing goes on, and then they walk away, then they wait, they see the thing going on. They come, they want to pass again, tiptoeing, the thing goes on. Currently, I think there are those which are, bulbs, but there is a spy camera in there. Most especially when you go to these places where people want to monitor the people, but indirectly, even I think these, how did they call them? These maids who beat up children. Parents have learned how to put those cameras to make sure they know what is going on at home. So they also, but the ones I have the ones which are having a sensor. But this one also, this is with the sensor, which is this transducer. So an LDR is the input transducer. This one also the passive infrared sensor also is an input transducer, because when you come by, the signal is sent and then the reflection from your temperature makes it active. If you get something which doesn't have the blood streaming through it, it does not get activated. Like a stick, if you got a stick and you pass it, it will not be activated. I'll bring them here and then you will get to know or to see what I'm talking about. And some students who would want to do projects, sometimes they would come and they are like, I want to make a light, so I say, but that's already done. And with a small thing, this bulb here is very tiny. It's just a normal bulb when you see it. But with all this technology on it. And then if you think you are innovating to have a sensor being put. The other ones are smart. In the sense that these ones have been used by some people who are on TikTok. And they are saying that now they have made bulbs which don't need electricity. Because they have a battery inside, there is a battery inside, and then there is a circuit here with the LEDs implemented, light emitting diodes implemented on this part. With all layers when power is on, and then with one layer in the middle here when power is off, like when power has gone. How does it work? You just plug it in your power lamp holder, and then it starts charging automatically. When the power goes, you continue using the switches normally. When power goes, it remains on. If you are tired and the power hasn't come back, you go there and switch it off. It also has an option. you can use the fingers. If you put some water on the fingers and you touch the two leads, the two connections on it, then it lights. But also, if you want to be romantic, you can put water in a glass and then make sure that once you make it sitting here and this is its bottom, these two connections here, you make sure that they are just touching the meniscus. And it will be bright. Everyone will think that you have a very nice light in your house. So the smartness, mainly, they are smart because they charge without any effort, but also beyond charging, then you have these other options. So people who are busy fooling us, fooling others online, they would put in a lamp holder with LEDs, then they go, I think I saw one on a banana plant. Say, we don't, now we can get electricity from the banana plant. So plant one thing here, another one here, the thing went on. Because you are not seeing the battery which is inside. So I wanted to make a video to debunk that. You know, just go on the, charge it up, go on the banana plant, make it light, and then open it up and show why it is lighting. So that we don't get, and unfortunately on YouTube, I'm tired. There are people who will do anything. You get a magnet and say you need free internet, he gets a magnet. This round magnet here like this. Then he gets some wire, solders here. Another wire, solders it here. He gets a rolled SIM card, solder here. Solder. He gets another wire of a USB cable. Then he plugs in the phone. Then I think using bundles, then he shows you that now, don't you see? Even if he's using Wi-Fi. You see, now I'm online. Plays YouTube, whatever. And you find something with 1 million views. And because YouTube also gets their portion of the money, because a YouTuber gets only 60%, the 40% goes to this YouTube. It's a lot of money. So if it is a million, the creator of the stuff gets 600K, YouTube gets 40. How many people are on YouTube? These guys are stinking rich, and we are the ones who give them the money. So why don't we get our own Uganda YouTube? We just do it locally here. It's just having a website that can host videos, and then MTN will pay us to put the adverts there. Then people whose content get adverts on them, then we give them some bit of money. But for them, they are lucky because they can, with the Deutsche Welle, is it Deutsche Welle or Deutsche Bank? With the Deutsche Bank and MasterCard and Visa, they are able to transfer money. We can't do that. That's why we shall remain poor as Africans. Because even if you innovate it, they will make sure they block your money. They say you are doing money laundering when they see you having a lot of money moving around to your citizens. So these are the bits of sensors and transducers. And for here, really it is an arrangement of electrical circuits that eventually are able to make you switch off the normal switch. The switch remains normal, power is not on, and then it works normally. But if you remove it from the mains and put it on a switch on the outside, doesn't work. The connection is smartly following the trend from the main switch where power went off completely, and then eventually be able to do that. And that is the end of the objectives. But by the end of this part, you'll be able to know how to deal with automatic switches, how to deal with the remote controls and the thermostats. So the thermostat which I repaired in the vehicle, it draws water from the engine. Then it goes through the dashboard of the vehicle, and then it goes back to the I don't know where it goes. I will check again. So on the thermostat, it has like a switch which is connected to the inside of the filter. So when the water is too hot, it blocks it, and then it passes on the other side, and then it gets cooled via the fan, and then it goes through the engine. The hot one, once you say that you want, the reason why a vehicle gets heat is that it gets heat from the engine, the water from the engine, the one which is coming out of cooling the engine. That hot one is the one which makes the cabin of the vehicle to be. You can't have a vehicle which you have just started and then you say, I'm putting AC and making it hot. The same heating system works in temperate regions, in countries with winter. You have, if it is winter, some people would choose to have the cookers all over on. So their heating system is water-based. The water is heated and then it is made to flow through the heaters. So the fins release the warmth towards the room as the hot water goes back. So it's a system. As you heat water, even for other purposes, it flows through the heating system, and then like that you keep people warm. Otherwise it is miserable. When you are abroad and it is winter, some people die. It is very cold. Any one of you has been to a cold place in Uganda? Which is the coldest place? You go to Kabbalah at 3 a.m. You'll ask for all the beddings. When it reaches 3 a.m., you ask for all the beddings. And if it is like in July, some places, if you don't have, of course you can't have gloves. There is a story which I can't tell you because it is very funny. I will spare that for another day. So you can find that your hands can't even, you can't hold anything. But for people who grow up in Kabbalah, they are used. When you eat sweet potatoes, you gallop porridge, then your body metabolism goes high. So have you ever slept hungry and you see how it becomes cold in the night? Hey, when you are hungry at around 3 a.m. you feel very cold, you cover yourself, nothing. You turn this way, nothing. So you just suffer. But if you have overeaten and you are even belching, you even forget to cover yourself. You only remember when it is in the morning. The body was metabolism. The body is busy crushing your food, is sending all the heat everywhere and you are sleeping. You be hungry. You will ask for something to cover you. So you need to eat to make sure that your body is doing a lot. So those are the objectives. And the course outline is that we should be able to introduce introduction to transducers, input and output transducers, passive and active. Have you understood what a passive transducer would be and active one would be? A solar panel is a passive transducer because you don't need to power up a solar panel. Okay, if I say solar panel, it is too much. This process is that you have a solar cell, it's a small bit. This solar cell, when you connect solar cells using the turbines, small wires, and you solder them on different solar cells. So now if you arrange them and you have a bunch of them, then you make a panel. Then when you get a bunch of panels, I think, and you arrange them, then you get a module. So we have a cell, panel, module. I don't remember where you go next. I think when you have a bunch of modules, you make a solar farm, like a solar plant. So this one, only thing you need are the photons, and when you get the photons, Then they come here, and then they release the electrons. They don't get off, but they start flowing in these turbines here. And then when they flow in the turbines, when you reach this side, you make sure here they are connected together. So you make sure that I have a panel in my office, so I'll bring it next time so that you are able to see. The turbines go on top here for this cell, and then they go below, down here for the next cell. So that's how you connect them. You solder on top here of the cell, and this other cell they go underneath. Because they are flat like this, but actually they are supposed to be, the way we connect the batteries like this. We made the first solar panel here in Uganda. We made it with some Italian-American woman, and we tested it using the lights of my vehicle. So I can proudly say that I am the first man in Uganda to make a solar panel. And from scratch, from having solar cells, you solder the turbines, you connect everything, and then I don't remember what we call a bus, and then eventually here you have the connections for the. So this one goes on top of this cell here, then here it goes underneath. Then the next one will go on top of. So okay, like now this is on top, then this one goes under. You do like that. So when you reach here, you go to another arrangement here. This one comes here, goes up, goes below here on this one. Then you go, so like that, until when you finish all of them, and then you get your power that you have. So I think each of them is a typical one is about, I don't remember the voltage. So you add those voltages together in series, and then you get the final voltage that you are using. And then you need to have what we call a charge controller and a voltage controller. So the light, the sunlight, is never the same. At one point it is cloudy, at another point it is too hot, another point average. So you need to make sure that when you are using this to charge, you have a level of charge that is constant. That's how you integrate a charge controller. And as you are drawing the current, the voltage for use, that was just for when you are now going to charge, you make sure that you control the voltage which is coming out to make sure that your battery is charged well. The challenge has always been how do you keep what you have harvested, even in agriculture wise. You make a good, like last season I planted maize around my garden, harvested I think there were 3 small bags. Then these insects, it's like somebody brought them and said, you eat this man's thing. They ate everything. In the night you would hear them quarreling, eating everything. So I lost my produce. I could have chewed those things for, for us. You cook them until when they laugh. You know what happening? Like they split. Then you get beans you put in. When you eat the plate, you have sauce and food in one way. Instead of having bean sauce and posho, you have this in one package. You eat them, you just go to sleep. You sweat like I was telling you without any problem. And even being more knowledgeable. Now I miss that opportunity. Because keeping produce has always been a problem. The sunlight is there. You can have a panel. But then how do you manage to keep what you have harvested that during the day to be used when you need it? During the day, we have many things to keep us busy. So we are not bothered about TV or music. During the day, there is enough light. So we are not hungry for, we are not needing a lot of light to use. It is in the night that we need multiply. So how do you save that power to be used in the night? That's one challenge. The other challenge is that my panel is here, but my people are some distance. I would love to give them too, but I cannot transport that power to them. You can imagine when this accident of garbage happened, people are now talking about producing 60 megawatts of electricity compared to the Bujagali Owen Falls Dam, which started at 55. But the challenge has always been, we have enough power. We have an excess of, I think, over 1,000 now.
Excess.
Huh?
Excess.
Yes. Excess in the stupidity sense, you know. People are rich, some people are rich because the people around them are poor. When I'm with you, I am seemingly brown. When I went abroad, I was blue. Even me, I could see myself that I'm blue. These guys were white. Norwegians were white. When I'm in the supermarket moving here, when I'm moving in the supermarket, people think I'm a Mzungu. When I was in the supermarket, some kids would be looking at me. They are looking at me as if they are looking at a real monkey. The relativity, the surroundings, what is, you are judged by what is. When you are in a club, when you do something crazy, no one gets surprised. You are all crazy after all. If you are in church and all of a sudden you are like, everyone will run and what's wrong with this person? Because it is not something that is, that's not what church people, how church people would do something. But if you were just at a football club, I mean a match or whatever, no one would bother. So the challenge of keeping this electricity is always the problem. And a panel, if I can move away from what I've been talking, a panel would be a passive transducer because you don't need to power it to give you what you want. But for example, if you are to use the LDR, also wouldn't need any power. But if you are to use the like the motion sensor, your bulb must be activated. It must be having power in it in order to work. Then radiation. The phototube is this tube here, which ends up having if you have the photons coming in, they keep being reflected around, and every time they are reflected, they also multiply. So if you had a small incident light here, you will eventually get too much light coming out of here. And if you needed a light sensor, like if you had an LVR here, it would feel more. I don't know what I should use as an example to make my point clear. The other example may not bring out what I wanted to. But before I move on, the reference book, the Communication Systems Engineering, is here by Saleh and Brooks. I also put the Boaz for purposes of, for example, for you to be able to remind yourselves of the free CDs or any other electronic circuit stuff. So you should be able to find out that bit and be able to get a more understanding of these. I remember just trying to remember whether I had this network keeps being fake. Comes on, goes. Comes on, goes. Traffic. Yeah, traffic. If it is traffic, why do you go off? Just reduce traffic, but don't go off. Okay. Then we have a for multiplier. You have these plates here arranged in a form, so you have the incident photons, and these photons come here, then they split. This one also comes, splits, and then also the 1 becomes 2, the 2 become 4, the 4 become 8, the 8 becomes 16. So by the time you get this last bit to give to your sensor, there is enough to. I wanted to get something, you know. Something is not coming in my head of an example of how. Of course, I wanted to use booze, but people like Shakira may know. Have you ever taken booze? Have you ever taken alcohol? I know you are a Muslim, but have you ever taken alcohol? That is a yes. That laughter there is a yes. That laughter is a yes. When alcohol is like a multiplier. Somebody, that's why they say that a drunk person does not. Is that how they say it? They say in the thematic curriculum that now people can be taught in vernacular to understand better. So these days, I don't care speaking Luganda in my lectures. If you are from the north or from the east and you don't know Luganda, you go back and learn it. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. I'm speaking the language of the land. So they say if there is on a burial vigil, on a vigil, they get that one guy who would pretend he's drunk and he'll tell you the truth. He'll tell the truth. He says people start visiting each other, otherwise we shall not bury you. Just to make sure he drives the point where. And people use an excuse of being drunk, but whatever a drunk person does, they could have done it when they are sober. The drinking was just a photo multiplier. The drinking is a photo multiplier. It helps just in enhancing his points. He now says it with confidence, without getting worried about the consequences. So that's the photo. The photo tube. The incident light just comes in. And for a photo tube here, you have the other bit is that you have a cathode and then an anode. And then when the light comes in here and you have produced the electrons, then you get them going to the anode, and then you complete the circuit. And then whatever you wanted to switch on gets switched on. Then the multiplier is this one here, which is okay. And then the photodiode. The photodiode, we did it in electronics, but we just, I think, did it for purposes of types of diodes. We didn't do it for what can be used for. So there are diodes which get activated by taking in the light. And then the light emitting diode, for it emits light when the dissociation takes place at the. So the photodiode is the one which starts conducting when light is incident. So we were talking over FDR for this other case, like here. So if you have also a photodiode in the circuit, that means when there is no light, there is no conduction. So you can use the photodiode as a transducer, whereby when light falls on, then it starts conducting, and then your circuit is complete, and then your system goes on. And you are able to get what you want. So, but you see, innovation is dependent on what really you want to solve. For example, if I was a Munamasaka and we have the coffee, and because I want to make a drying place which is automatic. When it is shiny, then it opens up, or the roof drags off, my coffee starts drying. It is a Saturday, I'm still sleeping because the money from the last season coffee, I'm still drinking it, but I want somebody to dry up my coffee. And when it threatens to rain, it should be able to cover the place. So you as a physicist who has done instrumentation, you can utilize the photodiode as a detector of light. So when the sunlight pops up, it blows the roof off. Okay, you make the system that when the light falls on, the photodiode activates the roll off. You make a roof which can be rolled off, like folds off, and then the coffee is exposed to the light. And when it is dark in the evening, because you are going to drink or you are away, it falls back and covers your coffee house, your warehouse, or whatever you are using as a drying system. If it's threatened to rain like this, covers it. Then you can also make a system that your coffee is there, but then you make the drying area where the coffee is dry. You make the system like rollers, which this is your place where coffee is dry. It is made in such a way that the linings look closely, because I want you to be useful in the future. If you have these small whatever, whereby coffee doesn't go through, but then you have in here some like sort of like a fan, could be plastic, so that it doesn't. So you have some fan which has like the way a comb is, so that you have rollers here with these things. So these things are here, another one is in every gap. So when it shines, you make sure that after some interval they roll and they hit the seeds to kind of roll around. So you see people in booths with these things which are like brushes, trying to make sure that they push, but you find that there is that coffee which refuses to turn. So you find here it is dark, here it is. But if you had a platform where these things are, and then you have those things which roll like this, so they roll as they roll or rotate, then they beat, if I can use that word. They make the coffee seeds to mingle up and change automatically with an automated switch. So don't do science and then science is just there. When I just got these bulbs from a friend, I just wrote an email to members of staff. I said I have bulbs which have switches which are automated. They respond to motion as well as light. If you install them on the shade, during the day they won't go on, during the night they are on, but only go on until you light when someone passes. I don't believe the professor should be always going around and switching on and off at the level of being a professor. People bought them. People came and bought, and they were buying in 10, 5, and each of them I was costing it at, I think I started with 20, I think I started with 25, and when COVID was closing in, I had gone to 20. But I think I was getting them at 15 or something like that. But when the university became a bit political, then I stopped selling things. I don't want someone to come to my office and say, you are turning it to a shop. So when, after some time, I just kept quiet. Those who, but also the kind of, I only think have a few which I keep taking home to use, and also a few people who knew them, but they had one problem. There are 5 volt, there are 5 watts. There are 5 watts, which is okay. 5 watts makes them energy savers, but makes them vulnerable to our stupid power. This power which comes back, then it starts dimming like this, comes back, dims like this. You see bulb just as if the bulb is dancing. Goes on, then goes on, then disappears. By the time all that cycle is done and then they switch off to rectify the power, when the power comes back, the thing just lights continuously. Sensors are disabled. Others you find that 2 or 3 LEDs are dead, then you see it just trying to to shake around and it is almost gone. So innovation, since you are now in 3rd year and soon you will be making your way forward to do the projects, I just want to make sure that I enlighten you are enough. A project, you hear? A project is an experiment in the reverse order. You get what I'm talking about? You will be doing a project in the 2nd semester, but I would love to make sure that I hint on this. Today I didn't want to make you stressed. It's the first trip we are having, so I want you to see how we can. Me, I don't mind, I can teach even 4 hours. But I wanted it to be a bit relaxed in a sense. So I'll give you a story and then you'll judge whether what you have even been thinking now is worth it. So in Kenya, there is a boy, now he must be a man, called Tulele. If you go to internet, Tulele, the other name I forget. I think it could be Richard. I'm not sure the other name. I can Google it, but this is enough. When you say Tulele, you know. So this young boy is a Maasai. So Maasai love their cows. They feel they are the ones who were given cows by God. So, but then the Maasai live near the Masai Mara, which is a national park. And it's got lions. And the lions love cows also. So they would cross and come and eat people's cows. So Tulele's parents put him in charge of looking after these cows against the lions. So Tulele, as a small boy, tried to look after the cows, guard them against the elephants. The Maasai are very brave. They just get spears and scare away the lion. They can even chase them from the cow that they are eating. And lions are stupid. Okay, they are clever. When one of the old men in my village, who used to come here to make money, told me that when they would be coming to work, they would come in a group, like of 10. But if they reached like in a forest along the way and they needed to rest, even if it's not like these days where when you want to rest you go at a hotel and then sleep there. Those days there were no hotels. So they would sleep together. So if you wanted to turn, you have to pinch your neighbor, you pinches the neighbor, and then you tell them, I want to turn. I'm tired of this one side. So you all have to turn in unison. So that the lion which has been looking for who to eat feels like it is a big animal. So when it sees the whole thing turning, it says, this is very big. This is very big, I can't